Welcome to Two Players, One Controller, where we attempt to harmonize gaming with family life. With me, Hedgehog Baker.
And me, Blank Door. Today we're going to talk about Kirby's Dream Course on Super Nintendo, a fantastic game. In this game, you are Kirby, but you're also a golf ball. I mean, Kirby can kind of be whatever he wants, but this time he's going to be himself as a golf ball. He doesn't swallow a golf ball.
No.
He's just himself being a golf ball. What a goober. Apparently there's a story, and we'll talk about that later. I didn't really realize. But
I want to talk about it now.
You want to talk about it now?
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about my summary from what I remember.
You give your summary first.
Okay, so you play as Kirby. There's friends. It's going to be a short summary. You just defeat all the enemies, I guess. And then at the end, there's King DDD. And you defeat him. That's my summary.
Well, there is a story. There's a cutscene in the beginning of the Japanese version that explains it.
Really?
It's also in Grump's Dream Course.
Oh, okay.
But they adjusted it a little bit because it's
Sure.
Aaron,
Naturally.
But in the cutscene, it basically explains that all the stars are going missing.
Oh.
And Kirby just sort of realizes this and gets really worried. So he brings out a telescope, sees King DDD pulling the last star away.
Okay.
And then he goes off to King DDD's castle where he needs to, King DDD has set up all of these tricky traps to try and stop him.
So he has to play golf through them?
He has to golf through. So it's a really good example of those games that people make and then they come up with the story after coming up with the game idea.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So at the end of each level,
yeah.
At the end of each course, if you complete it,
there's a little rocket ship. You blast off.
You blast off, and then there's an explosion of stars in the sky.
Oh,
it's because you got some stars back.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they kept in little elements of it in the US version, but the Japanese version just explains it.
The more you know. My golly. Why didn't they keep that in the US version?
I don't know. I think maybe it had something to do with the size.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. No, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Well, that's the game in a nutshell. It's Kirby Golf. I love golf games to death. I speedrun a golf game, speedrun Mario Golf, but I casually love golf games. And honestly, this is one of the top tier golf games, in my opinion. Well, let's talk about some fun facts with the video game boy.
The video game boy.
All right.
You, the video game boy.
The video game boy. So, turns out Kirby is the fourth Kirby game ever made, according to our small batch of research. If we're wrong, which we may be.
We might be wrong. I'm pretty sure that it's the fourth game that was made and released.
Well, let's think. So there's Kirby's Adventure, and then there's Kirby on the Game Boy, and then there's Kirby Superstar. And then
when is Kirby's Adventure in Dreamland?
Dreamland is on Game Boy.
Yeah. So when was it?
Oh, when was it released?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was after Dream Course. I'm pretty sure it came before. Either way, Dream Course definitely came after Superstar on the Super Nintendo, or at least the Dreamland games. There's Dreamland 3. You know what? I'm just gonna say it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't matter. It's a Kirby game.
But that's a kind of a fun fact, though.
Yeah,
that it could be the fourth one.
It could be the fourth one. Fantastic.
Very early one.
Another fun fact, because I love speedrunning, guys. The record for all courses right now by Rob Dog, where you replace the O's with the zeros, 33 minutes, 20 seconds, which is pretty cool. I love these kind of games that don't really have a whole lot of glitches. You just got to play the game well. I
would be curious to watch that speedrun, actually. I don't love watching a lot of speedruns unless it's GDQ and it's the event and you're getting into it.
Sure.
But I'd be curious to watch that speedrun.
I think it's just all execution. That's what I love about golf games. It's all execution. Not really a lot of glitches. And the last fun fact is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen come out of video game community in general is the Grump's Dream Course mod for this game.
So should we talk briefly about Game Grumps? Is there anyone out there who is into video games that don't know about Game Grumps?
Well, I think at this point, potentially yes, because there's such a gigantic pool of content out there now.
That could be.
But me, and Hedgehog Baker spent a lot of time in our teenager years watching Game Grumps.
Yes.
Very important part of our relationship. Shout out to Aaron and Danny out there.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time watching those guys. Lots of great memories. And while we were teenagers, they were playing Kirby's Dream Course, and a bunch of amazing people who I don't even know.
Oh yeah, we should have looked that up.
We should have. Okay, go look it up.
Okay, you keep talking.
A group of amazing folks put together a gigantic mod for this game that extremely expands all of the things that the game has to offer. Like tons more courses, super inventive courses. The whole community got together to create this mod, and it's a 10 out of 10 mod. One of my absolute favorites.
In the cutscene in the beginning, it's Ross stealing the last star instead of King Dedede.
Cute.
I love that.
That's super cute. The Grumps Dream Course mod, absolutely amazing. If you get into this game, you kind of have to play that mod. It adds like almost 2 or 3 times the amount of courses from the original game. So I definitely love that. That is the end of Fun Facts with me, the video game boy. Me, the video game boy.
I think it was just levels were just made by the fan community. It doesn't really have a lot of...
I think there's an organizer, but...
I'm sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sorry. If anyone knows, please let us know.
Moving on. All right. So the game play.
Oh, now we can just talk about the game.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to hear your thoughts. I know that you love it.
I do love it.
We already discussed that.
I really love this game.
Why?
I love this game because you can be really skillful with your shot. Like, I love Mario Golf because you have some control, but there's a lot of randomness, right? That you can't really control. So you just kind of you hope to control this random roll of the dice as much as possible, right? Like you just get your golf ball and generally in the spot where you want it to go, right? Mm-hmm. But in Kirby's Dream Course, it's all about minute precision. Super you can be a pro at this game because if you get the angles just right, if you get the spin just right, like you can feel like such a baller.
I like though that like you can still enjoy the game and have fun without getting all that right. You don't have to get super into the precision of it. You can just like go straight, press the button.
Absolutely.
Like you don't have to learn all the different buttons.
No,
even if you get an ability from an enemy, because when you run into certain enemies, you sometimes get their abilities.
Sure.
Even if you do that, like I was playing it earlier, I don't know how to like use the ability.
Yeah.
And it can make it like, I don't know, more volatile sometimes if you use it. So. Yeah.
Well, did you read the manual?
I did not read the manual. The US manual does explain the backstory, by the way.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Make sure to read the manual, guys.
I won't.
Well, I think this is a great example of a game that can be fun for people if you want to be super good or if you just want to play it casually. I love games like that. This is my favorite games. They call them easy to play, hard to master.
Oh,
right? That's what they call those kind of things. I love those kinds of games. But in the game, so this actually, don't quote me here. I think it utilizes the Super FX chip, which is the 3D stuff in the Super Nintendo. Could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it utilizes Super FX to render its 3D-ness. It does a great job, or at least Mode 7, which is a mode of Super Nintendo. Yeah, I know. Technical nerd stuff here. Technical nerd stuff. It does 3D stuff. And there's not very many just straight up 3D games on the Super Nintendo. Not a whole lot. So this is unique in that way.
Let's talk about more fun stuff about it.
I was just about to. How you hit Kirby, I think, is really fun. Like it does the standard golf thing. You know, you press the button, fills up the meter. You press the button again at the top to set your power or whatever like that, right? Mm-hmm. But you're not always trying. What I love again about this is that there's finesse. You don't always have to hit the top of the meter. Sometimes
I struggle with that. I want to go all out.
Yeah, every time and just see what happens. You want to bounce off things.
I do, and then like you die if you do it too many times. You're like get tired.
Yeah, you can get tired. Game over. Yeah, so basically,
that can be kind of a bummer.
Each course, we should probably explain this. Each course, there's a bunch of little cute Kirby guys just chilling, either moving around or just chilling.
They're guarding the stars.
Exactly, they're guarding the stars.
And then the last one standing. So when you run into it, it turns into like a little star for you.
Yep.
And then the last one standing turns into the hole.
Right. And then you try to get into the hole.
You can get really into like which enemy you're going to
like they want
take first.
Some courses kind of have a natural layout of where it wants to take you, but sometimes you want to challenge yourself or just see what happens, go in one path and then figure out the best way, least amount of hits, whatever, to get to the end. I will say this game is challenging. Like playing it casually, playing through the one player mode, I was challenged as an adult.
Yeah, and I think like for me, it's fun like to play for a little while.
Yeah.
Like I can sit down with it for like a half hour, watch something in the background, but then I'm going to get a little tired of it.
Well, honestly, because I actually sunk probably most of my time emulating this on my PS Vita on planes for work. And I would find myself getting frustrated sometimes. Like I would definitely get frustrated. Sorry, my nose itches.
Shameful.
I know, shameful. I would find myself getting frustrated because if you like lose all your lives basically on a course, because the way that they do this is that, like there's a course and each course has I think 7 or 8 like levels basically.
Yeah.
If you lose all your lives, you have to start from the beginning.
Yes.
Again, like it's fairly punishing.
Yeah.
And when I was playing on the plane, I would play it. I'd lose all my lives, and I'd be like, I don't want to play through that again. Not right now. I'll take a break. So definitely not for the faint of heart. Definitely not for the faint of heart.
And I think you have to be in kind of a particular mood to play 2-player as well.
Yeah,
I tried to play with my sister when they were visiting last, and neither of us were just like really in the mood.
Yeah, you definitely need to be in a mood, and I think this game supports being fairly competitive. We might talk about that later. But I'd say this is for the competitive spirit for sure in the 2-player mode.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, the story mode, really fun to play. 2-player, really fun to play if you're feeling fairly competitive. It is a little bit difficult, and I would consider this game, I wrote this one down, I think it's a hidden gem.
Is it not well known?
I mean, Nintendo put it in the Switch collection of like games with the Switch. Of course I didn't look this up before. I struggled with the name last time. The Switch thing that you pay for, whatever that is. They put it in there. But since then, like, I think they released it on Wii Virtual Console, and you said the 3DS as well, right? 3DS.
Yeah, so it was on Wii, Wii U, and 3DS.
Right, all the Virtual Consoles and the Switch. Which, as we know, the Wii and 3DS shops are the Wii one is shut down long ago, but the 3DS and Wii U shops are soon shutting down. Yeah. So you're not going to have access to that. It's on the Switch, and then it's on the original cartridge on the Super Nintendo. So I mean, it's gotten re-releases, but it was never met with like fanfare.
Yeah,
I don't know a whole lot of folks that really played or loved this game. Like just throughout my life, I never really knew any kids that were like, "Oh man, Kirby's Dream Course," you know.
Yeah,
and I didn't really discover it till I was an adult myself.
Yeah.
So I'm considering it a hidden gem. Certified hidden gem.
Certified hidden gem.
All right. Any more thoughts on the game before we move on to kiddos?
There was a thought, but it is after midnight.
And it is late. All right, let's move on to kiddos.
Wait, what was my... Okay, no, I'm sorry, it's gone. Okay.
It's gone.
Kiddo thoughts.
Here we go. So let's start with the meters. You go.
Well, no, you start.
Okay. The spook meter. I don't think you could be farther away on the spook meter. It's a Kirby game, guys. I mean, I will say, hold on. Disclaimer. Not all Kirby games are spookless. There are some spook in those Kirby games, in a few of them. But I will say with full confidence, this game doesn't even touch the spook meter.
That's why I wanted you to start, because I want to talk about the cuteness meter.
Very good. Okay.
It's very high on the cuteness meter. Oh my golly. Okay, so like when you've hit Kirby a few times, and he just sort of like sits and blinks for a second, and then he gets up again. He's like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And like if you bump into a tree, and they get their puffy, angry cheeks.
Oh, I didn't like that.
I don't like that. It's really cute. Oh gosh, I wrote down something else that I thought was cute. I don't know. It's just really cute. I love all the baddies. Bear was so cute when he was playing it with you this morning because he was all upset when you ran into Waddle Dee and Waddle Dee disappeared.
Yeah.
Asked you why you defeated Waddle Dee because Waddle Dee's a friend.
That's very cute.
That's very cute. You know that it's cute when, like, if the bad guys disappear, then, like, the kiddos are a little disappointed.
I know, right? Yeah. Like, I want you to be there. Yeah. I wish they were still there.
They're cute. They're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, cuteness meter.
Very high.
Very high. All right. The sweet spot age. So, we did try it out with the bear today, and he's, at the ripe age of 3. And he did okay. Like,
he was enjoying it.
And he was engaging because, so what I've noticed about golf games in particular is that they are surprisingly easy to play without even trying. Like, this is something that as a kid, I couldn't even fathom. As a kid, I would play Mario Golf. I would play mostly Mario Golf, but a few other golf games. And I'd see all this, user interface stuff. And I would be like intimidated by all the options that I had on a shot. Sure. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to get all this right. But whenever the bear wants to play a game, he just wants to press the button over and over again. And
you can do that with the
You can do that in this game. You can just press the button over and over again. And eventually the game, because the game always will point you toward the hole in some, into some general direction. True. It always points you there. So if you just kind of keep pressing the button, I mean, it'll be in bajillion shots, but you'll get there eventually. So, the bear loves just pressing the one button. And
I mean, Flower was also really enjoying watching it. She had a little controller. Yeah. And she looked at me like she was so pleased. Like she was pressing the buttons.
Yeah.
Thought that she was playing because she's won.
Yes. She was having a great time with it. But he was able to play. Not super well. He didn't seem super frustrated. Like he was satisfied for for his short attention span. He did okay. Yeah. But he was able to play the game just by pressing the one button. I just told him, hey, press that one button. And he just kept pressing it, and he did stuff. Yeah. He was moving his character.
And I think that it was satisfying to him that like just pressing the one button did do something. Right. Like he was actually playing the game, and that was really satisfying and rewarding.
Right, yeah. Like, he has a big issue with moving the stick around. Like, that's probably his vice in video games right now is movement of a character. So paring that down to just one button for a 3-year-old, I think was nice for him. But as for a sweet spot age, so he was able to play it, but a sweet spot age.
Well, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Like, just something that a kiddo can grasp, enjoy, and actually play a little bit of. I mean, 3 or 4. Yeah. That's possible. But a game, if you're trying to accomplish, like, really playing the game. Sure. I would say not until they're, like, closer to 10.
Yeah, I think I'd argue that, too. Like, really I think you need some patience for a golf game if you want to be proficient at it.
Especially this one. This one's challenging.
Yeah, I remember playing Mario Golf as a kid. It would be frustrating to like just do bad, Yeah. And I wouldn't necessarily have like the best time, playing a golf game because I just wasn't doing amazing.
Hopefully we're building the nostalgia for it now.
Sure.
So that when they're a little bit older, they can like be really excited about playing it.
Right.
Because it's an older game, and I think it's really worth them playing when they're a little bit older.
I totally agree.
And yeah, in terms of like what age of kiddos can interact with the game and ways they can interact. Yeah. I think all ages can interact with this game.
I totally agree. Like I said, I really enjoyed it at my adult age. Music is fantastic.
Oh, the music is so good. I was actually like thinking about it earlier. Yeah. I feel like through this, I've kind of rediscovered the game a little bit. Yeah. I kind of forget about it sometimes. Sure. I mean, I'm going to play the music tomorrow. Hooray. Just for fun. I love listening to video game music during the day, and I think that's a really good.
Yeah, this is
casual listening one.
Great soundtrack. And they can interact by either watching. I think they have a good time watching and playing again if they can get into it.
Yeah.
This one is pretty fun to watch. You can cheer each other on to get like that just perfect shot.
But then if you're in, oh my gosh, when Bear and Bunny the 5-year-old, play it together and they start stealing each other's stars. Oh man,
that's going to get hardcore. It's going to get very competitive.
We're going to have to step in.
I know. There's going to be some fighting.
There's going to be some no video game is like more important than your sibling.
My gosh, yeah.
Throwing around.
I can't wait to use those.
Before we move too far away from Kirby's Dream Course, though,
okay,
I think we've explored a lot about our kiddo thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I would love to talk about how to make it a valuable gaming experience for yourself and for you and your spouse.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, I think this is a very fun 2-player game, especially the Grumps Dream Course version.
Yeah.
Gigantic success. It's fun. I think you can be lighthearted with it, or you can choose to be extremely competitive. Like, it's pretty versatile. So if you have a rather competitive spirit in your relationship, I think this game really supports that.
We do not.
We do not.
If we steal each other's star, then we're going to be apologizing.
Right.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yep. But I mean, I think it's fun in both ways.
Yeah.
I think being competitive in this game is a real treat.
Yeah, I think that you could easily, if you're in the mood for it, could easily sit down and spend an evening playing through it.
Yeah.
But I mean, even just trying like one course, just to see if you're feeling it, and then if you're just not, moving on to something else.
Yeah, I agree. Like this game doesn't fit every mood. But I definitely recommend giving it a try.
For yourself, I think that it's a very side gameable game.
Very side gameable. I agree. Very side gameable. And for those who don't know, a side game to us is just a thing that you can have. You know, everyone's got their main game, right? Everyone's got their game of choice in whatever era of their life. That looks very comfy. And I think this could be a great, just kind of on the side little pickup thing. Don't get too attached to it.
Yeah. Well, like I was playing it earlier while watching Ian Sterling on Prime, just do stand up. And that was like a really good, like listen, half watch, half play the game.
Agreed.
It's really easy to set down when you need to.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a really good thing to like watch and play on the Switch while
I
watch
agree.
something in the background.
Totally. It's a great game for that because it's turn-based, you know?
Yeah.
I love that. So, while we were playing Kirby's Dream Course, the little bear, he was the pink Kirby, and I was the yellow Kirby, and we were just jamming on that for a little while. And halfway through, the bear was like, "I want to be the yellow Kirby now." Yeah. And we had to look at each other today, and we're like, "Should we allow this?" Like, we've played other games with them. We've played like Smash Bros, played Mario Kart, played Mario Party.
Those well, not so much Mario Party, but with like Mario Kart, it's very easy. Like, okay, after this race, I'm going to
after this race, everyone switch their character.
Yeah.
No big deal. But in the middle of like a long-winded thing, like he wanted to be switching his character. So we had to like think today. Should we let him change his character? Like,
because realistically, within the moment, it wouldn't be hard.
No, yeah, just gotta hand him my controller. No big deal.
Just trade controllers.
Right.
Not big deal, because it's not like you're playing to win right now.
Absolutely. But like, should we foster a culture that like you pick your character, that's your character, this is my character, right? Until there's a natural moment. Like we're not gonna break the entire process of this game just so we can switch characters, right? Like, it looks very comfortable.
It's very comfortable.
For those listening, Hedgehog Baker is snuggling with a very gigantor panda plushie. Mm-hmm. Very soft.
It's after midnight.
I know. It's too late. Anyway, so yeah, like, do we allow them to, break all game, process just to switch their character? Or do we kind of force them to just be like, nope, that's what you got right now, right?
I'm going to interject with a quick. When we first started recording, you warned me not to bump into the stand a lot because you know that I'm the more clumsy one. You're the only one who bumps into it.
I know. I'm sorry.
I love it. I'm sorry. It's just because I'm more clumsy than you, so I love it when you're the clumsy one.
Okay, I'm the clumsy one.
Yes, I wanted that recorded. I think I hadn't thought of this phrase before.
Okay.
But discussing it now.
Sure.
It's important not to give in to their every whim.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, if it's a passionate desire or whatever, but if it's just a casual whim,
yeah,
that's how you create spoiled human beings.
Yeah, I agree. Like, this is another outlet, you know, it's a hard balance. Sometimes it's like, you want your kid to enjoy the game as much as possible. And like, I remember as a kid, sometimes I would be like, I'd just be real ADHD if I would just switch my characters. If I was playing by myself.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. Like, if you're, maybe what we need to teach them is when you're playing with another person, you got to lock in the character. But if you're playing just totally by yourself, then do whatever you want.
Because you don't need to, you're playing by yourself. You don't need to be considerate.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like teaching them, through games to be considerate of other people's time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's not even being considerate of others' feelings.
Sure.
So much as their time. That I feel like gaming is a really good way to be considerate of that. I don't think that there are a lot of many other opportunities just within your day to learn to be considerate of others' time.
Yeah.
That's not an easy lesson to be taught. But through video games, especially through the form of like, no, you may not switch characters right now.
Right.
Because then the other person is going to lose so much time that they put into this other character.
Sure.
I think that that's a valuable lesson.
I think so too. Like, yeah, if you just let them switch whenever they want, I think it turns into a slippery slope of them kind of turning into a gamer and just a person that just like switches things too quickly in their life to just change things up, and like in today's day and age, we literally just have access to different things, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to just, I'm just going to change my mind right away, right? Not stick with what I'm doing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think if you allow your kid to break the process of a together family gaming situation, right? If you allow them to do that, then they'll allow that to happen in other parts of our family situations as well. They're going to be like, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this. Right. But like, they have to understand that, you and I the parents are leading the situation for the most part. Right. And we all need to like work together to have a good time. Right. And
okay. And I mean, another argument in favor of not letting them change characters.
Sure.
So I'm curious what you'll think of this. I just thought of it. That as parents, it's important to set boundaries and seize control sometimes.
Yeah.
That's really important. And this is just kind of an easy place to do that. Like, it's really good to have little places that it's not a big deal. There are clear-cut consequences like, no, we're not switching players right now.
Yeah.
Switching characters.
Yep.
And if that's upsetting to you, then go do something else.
Yep.
Like, and it's just a really easy little way to teach them that you are in control.
Yeah, for sure.
So that later, when it's like you need to clean your room before you can go play outside with friends, they can see
there's a connection with us to authority.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's a nice little way to just kind of bring that in.
Yeah, I totally agree. Without making it feel like we're
being controlling and like just trying to control little things just because we can.
Sure.
No, it's teaching that we are in control and teaching them to be considered of others' time. I like that rule, though, that if it's family game time, if you're playing with someone else, you can't just randomly
I agree.
leave. So what if we're having family game time?
Okay.
Like multiple people, like we're playing Mario Party or something.
Yeah.
And one of them wants to switch players, switch characters.
Yeah, like midway.
What?
Like midway in the middle.
Midway.
Of the game. Okay.
And they can't.
Yeah.
But we're dependent on them continuing to play to finish the game.
So, and I'm glad you say this because this reminds me, I wanted to talk about kind of the ages to enforce different parts of this, right? Or at least how to maybe customize your experience so that you don't have to deal with this so harshly, right? So like with Bear, he's 3 years old, right? So he doesn't always know if his controller is plugged in or not, right? Does not always know that.
Surprisingly.
Bunny
knew.
Oh yeah. The oldest absolutely knew. But the little bear, like, he doesn't always know. He suspects. But all I gotta do is give him the controller and be like, yeah, you're this guy now. Like, you're this.
Yeah.
And he's like, fantastic, I'm that guy. And he starts pressing all the buttons on the controller, totally happy, completely satisfied.
We've even done where, like, he wanted to switch characters, and we're like, okay, that's you. That's your screen.
That's you now. And he's like, awesome, great.
I didn't switch anything. He's not playing his character anymore. He's just watching you play.
Yeah. And I think, like, natural to the age, like, Bunny is up there, 4 or 5, right?
She's
and
5.
I think I'm saying when she was 4 and now 5.
I just want to set the mic.
I know her age. Like, I don't know, that age, at that age, you're kind of understanding that things, I don't know, just work in a way. Like, I think Bunny was understanding that, like, I chose this character, it's not going to change. Like, you know, like, sometimes she will ask to change sometimes, but we've told her no. And now she understands it, you know.
I think that's partly in her character, though.
I agree.
That's just part of who she is, that she's accepting and, I don't know, considerate.
Yeah, that's true. She is considerate. The little bear, I mean, he's not very considerate.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
He's not considerate.
Not considerate of time. Do you think he'll grow into it, though?
I think,
like, how much longer?
That this is one way to help him to grow into it.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. But, okay, in terms of, like, you're halfway through a game.
Yeah.
They're wanting to switch characters. They're throwing a fit for whatever reason about this.
And it's affecting the game.
It's affecting the game. They're not having fun anymore.
Yeah.
Do you switch off the game for everyone? Take a 5-minute break?
Yeah, that's
someone
a great
else
question.
Takes over their character and they don't get to play anymore?
Yeah.
I guess it kind of depends on the situation.
It does. Like, if we're playing Mario Kart, me personally, I cannot do this. I know people who can do this. Play Mario Kart, 2 Mario Karts with one hand each.
With Mario Kart, though, you're not dependent on them to continue
playing. Yeah, that's a good point.
With, like, Mario Party, for example, they need to take their turn.
That is true. Well, okay, so for Mario Party, I mean, that one's easy. You just gotta press the A button for them. Just boop, boop, press the A button. Not a big deal. Like, it's not hard for you to play that turn for them.
Yeah, if they decide, like, without even throwing a fit necessarily, sometimes Bear is like, all right, well, I'm done.
Yep.
And he just walks away and goes plays and does something else, or just wants to watch.
Yeah.
I guess in that time, then, yeah, you can just take over that.
Just take over, do whatever. Like, I don't mind,
Yeah.
And I mean, that's another just, like, kind of expectation management thing. Like, when we do sit down to play with them, I expect Bear to leave not very soon after,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, like, if we're playing Mario Party, I'll put it on the lowest amount of turns, 10 turns or something like that, because I don't think he's gonna get through a regular 20 turn Mario Party game.
He might get through 5 turns.
Maybe
that would be a
huge success.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's all about, like, just kind of knowing your child and knowing their attention span. Like, Bunny always had a fairly long attention span. She could stick with something.
That's true.
But Bear has never had it. And we'll see what Flower's got. I don't know.
I don't know. She's right in between.
I know, she is. All right, so I think we talked about switching characters thing. You want to talk about video game music that we rather enjoy?
Let's do it.
All right, video game music that we rather enjoy. We just want to shout out some great video game albums and some things that we do with video game music, because Kirby's Dream Course has such a great soundtrack. So I want to name off some other soundtracks.
What Bunny would call a jam.
What Bunny would call an absolute jam. That verbiage courtesy of me, yeah. Blinktor. So I want to shout out some of my favorite video game albums out there. This is only just a small little snapshot. There's so many more out there. But I want to shout out the Fez soundtrack. Fez being one of my absolute favorite games. I'm sure we'll cover it in the future.
It's a very chill soundtrack. Super
chill, super ambient, delightful soundtrack by Disaster Piece. That was the artist on there. I love that soundtrack just for chilling out and falling asleep too. I remember
really nice on a drive.
Very nice.
If we're trying to get the kiddos to fall asleep, we're just chilling.
Right. Fantastic soundtrack. I want to shout out the Kirby and Amazing Mirrors soundtrack. I was hesitant about putting a Kirby soundtrack on my list, but I do love Kirby Dream Course, but I need to shout out another Kirby soundtrack, the Kirby and the Amazing Mirror soundtrack for Game Boy Advance. It just does kind of some of the best renditions of classical Kirby songs. Love that one. And then my last one, I think I got to shout out the Animal Crossing soundtrack for being incredibly versatile in my life. I can put it on in pretty much any situation. I could be chilling. I could be a little bit hype, depending on what's going on. I mean, all the KK Slider songs are, just complete bangers. I love that soundtrack. Particularly City Folk. Particularly.
Yeah.
I think that one I love. I mean, I love New Horizons soundtrack. It's great, but the City Folk soundtrack. I actually don't love
New Horizons soundtrack.
There's a couple really good songs on there. A couple. All right, go ahead.
All right. So my go-to video game playlist or soundtrack, I guess, is Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
I absolutely love it. It's my go-to just for doing stuff in the house.
Concerned Ape, shout out.
I didn't write it down as one of the soundtracks.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna throw it out there.
Okay.
Cooking Mama for when I'm cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I love Cooking Mama music.
Yeah.
It definitely brings out the perfectionist necessity in cooking when I'm doing that.
I totally agree.
Let's see. Pokemon music as well.
Pokemon, yeah. There's very so versatile. Much. First of all, there's so much of it.
Oh yeah.
Tons. And
there's sometimes that we're listening to a Pokemon playlist and I'm shocked that it's a Pokemon song.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm still discovering Pokemon songs. We listen to a lot of collections of music, which we'll talk about in a second, but there are some Pokemon songs I feel like I am confident I still have not heard. And I spent a lot of time listening to Pokemon music. So I don't know. There's just so much out there, and I am routinely surprised
and impressed
sometimes, by the quality of Pokemon music.
I will shout out also just happy Kirby music. There are lots of playlists on YouTube, just titled Kirby music to make you feel better.
Yeah,
just happy Kirby music.
Right.
I really like those. I especially like the Kirby music to make you feel better. That's only 30 minutes long.
Sure.
So it's a really nice we're going to talk about in a minute. We do a lot of video game music dance parties with the kiddos.
I mean, that's coming right up, so let's talk about it.
All right. Well, I mean, that one is really good for if I want to dance with them.
Yeah.
It's only 30 minutes and it's really upbeat, easy music to dance to.
Sure.
And then I can just put it on something else and let them
absolutely
go.
Totally, yeah. And let's just talk about dance parties. And
first I want you to shout out, you said Concerned Ape, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, also Vapid Bobcat, Shadow at Noon, and 10th Universe.
Right, yeah. Those are all the kind of the channels on YouTube that make these amazing collections of video game music.
That we listen to throughout the day.
Yeah, and when we'd spend a lot of time listening to it. For many situations like dance parties.
Yeah.
We'll start with that.
Yeah.
So dance parties, I started doing those when we were living in our last, when we weren't living in this current house, in our apartment.
No, you started those before that even.
Really?
Yeah, in the house.
Oh, geez, okay. Well, I started it in the last house. Yeah, sometimes, before bed, I don't know, not really before
bed. Usually that's before really bed. The best time.
Just to kind of get all that extra energy out that wasn't used in the day. If I can tell that those guys are just not ready to go to sleep yet, I will put on a dance party. And I mean, everyone's got their own music that they listen to, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone has their own tastes and stuff like that.
And sometimes Bunny asks for something very specific, like jazz.
Yeah, she does. Can I listen to just call it fast jazz, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can I listen to fast jazz?
Yeah. And then she'll always judge, she'll say, this is undanceable.
Oh, my gosh.
She'll just kind of stand there.
You stand there, obstinate.
Yeah.
Right.
Bear will dance to it.
But I would say, for those who don't practice listening to video game music out there, which I don't expect a ton of people to listen to video game music casually. What I'm saying is, I recommend listening to video game music casually. There's a lot of great stuff out there.
I mean, they designed this music to be background music.
Yeah, background music. And they wanted, like, especially for retro games, like, they wanted kids to be engaging with this music.
Yes, retro games for, like, kiddo music, that's really bearable to listen to as an adult. Yeah. But I would say, like, newer music, newer games, for just casual listening for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
I think the retro games can get a little
surely they can get repetitive. That's for sure. There are some. I'm not gonna say, hey, go listen to the Super Mario theme song for 10 hours. Like, I'm not gonna recommend that.
That might be a playlist on YouTube though. It's on repeat for 10 hours.
Of course it is. Well, either way, there's some awesome dance party music out there that come from video games. A few suggestions include Sonic music. Sonic has some straight bangers.
Just bear it.
Just bear it.
Get through it. They'll love it. Kiddos.
They will love it. I'll shout out the Jet Set Radio soundtrack. That's a good one. And if you're looking for some alternative rock, you can always go for Tony Hawk soundtracks.
There you go.
And
Bowser music.
Well, there is Bowser. I was gonna say Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
However, disclaimer that is licensed music. So I think in Tony Hawk there are some mature theme songs. So.
I wouldn't do Tony Hawk, honestly.
No. But I mean, for kids of all ages.
I mean, I guess a little bit older.
Yeah.
I would say Katamari.
Oh yeah, the Katamari soundtrack is really good. I could go on, but.
Oh yeah, we could list a whole bunch.
Another use for video game music is long trips in the car.
Yeah.
We'll put the stuff on, like we were saying, Fez soundtrack for putting your kids right to sleep.
Breath of the Wild soundtrack is really good.
Super good.
Especially driving through someplace like Wyoming.
Yeah.
Where there's just nothing.
Yes.
At least, like, you can picture Link running around and climbing the hills.
Yeah, definitely. You want some ambient stuff on those nice long drives. Honestly, ambient music encourages me to, like, look outside. I think would encourage your kiddos to look outside and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, you just kind of imagine stuff, running out there in the world, the ambient music and stuff like that. That's a great one. For going to sleep. So there's plenty of these playlists on YouTube as well. Just Nintendo sleeping music, Zelda sleep. There's some really awesome, like, piano renditions of Zelda music for sleeping.
Yeah, like 8-hour long.
Yep. There's like a 10-hour long one for, like, Mario Galaxy sleepy music or something like that.
Oh, is there? I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think it's just like Sleepy Nintendo. But
I will say, since you brought up Mario Galaxy.
Sure.
Like, there was a time when that was Bunny's favorite game.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember sometimes she was, like, really fragile at that age. I think she was still, like, 4.
Yeah.
And sometimes she just needed to go spend some alone time. So we'd put on Mario Galaxy music for her, and it always calmed her down.
Yeah.
It was really nice. She really she just wanted to listen to Mario Galaxy music.
I know.
And being alone in a room. And if that's not such a good example of how different she is from Bear, who just wants to listen to Bowser music in his room.
Oh, yeah. Hard rockin' music.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Another use. This is the last use that we like to use, but motivation. Motivation for cleaning, motivation for
Wind Waker. It's good for that.
Doing the dishes, stuff that's going to get you a little bit hype. So not necessarily dance music, right? Not necessarily danceable stuff, but
I kind of disagree.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you're not home, I put on, if I like really need to get moving, if I don't put on podcasts, I will put on some, like, music I can, like, be dancing or singing to while I'm cleaning and doing stuff.
Well, I will say, I like to separate dancing from, like, motivational music, right? Like, I think I totally agree. Wind Waker, the ocean theme, right? Ba-na-na-na-na, right? When you're out on the boat. All right.
I don't know which one.
Well, I guess you haven't listened in a while. But the song in Wind Waker, when you're out sailing around on the ocean. That's Dragon Roost. That's Dragon Roost. That's Dragon Roost Island. That's when you're on an island.
Oh. I like that one a lot.
That's a good one.
Which one was the one that we walked down the aisle to?
We walked down the aisle to the the title music theme. Man, I forgot that.
That was a rough wedding.
That's just altogether. Really nerdy. That's just super really nerdy.
Well, I mean, and we mentioned in the last podcast also, like, video game music made up the playlist in the hospital.
Yeah.
When we were giving birth.
Oh, man. Yeah. We're doing great. Anyway, video game music, super versatile. I recommend folks to just start listening to it more. You know, it incorporates, it's very backgroundy. Again, not everyone, I know of folks that can't necessarily listen to music in the background of things, right? I mean, I spend a lot of time intentionally listening to music. I spend a lot of time having background music, right, in my life. I think both have their place, but for those who don't have background music in their life and feel like they need it, video game music does a great job.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time to move on to the end of things. Wow. So let's talk about the games that we've been playing this week.
Right.
Yeah.
We haven't really been playing a whole lot of games this week.
Well, seeing as we're recording this very close to the last podcast that we just recorded, there's nothing too much different. But I will say, today I played Super Smash Bros. For N64 today.
Oh my gosh. I forgot that was the version that we had growing up.
Yeah.
That was so nostalgic. I absolutely loved it. I missed that game so much.
Yeah. I wish I had it on a cartridge. I was emulating on my Raspberry Pi today on my CRT with the little bear. And that was another instance where he was like, I want to be this character. And I was like, all right, fine, you're that character.
Yeah, and with each fight, he was able to like decide which one he wanted to be.
Yeah, I did the one player mode, you know, where you go through, beat a bunch of guys. And that definitely supported his, you know, rapid change in character desires.
Yeah.
Because
Bunny was awake at that point too, and she loved watching that.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
The music, fantastic. So, other than that, still playing WoW, level 60, but I haven't really touched it much. Playing a paladin. Yeah. Yeah,
Bunny hasn't really been playing games this week either. We're trying to save that for the weekends now.
Yeah.
Saves all screen time for the weekends.
Yeah, we had a stint there where our oldest turned 5, trying to give her a little bit more things to do now that she's 5, feel like a grown up.
But she is also only 5. I think that was where we went wrong, forgetting like, oh, she's still 5.
Only 5. That's a lot, you know? It's a lot of numbers. It's a whole hand.
It is a whole hand.
It's one whole
It's only hand. One hand.
I mean, that's 1/2 of your hands. That's a pretty large amount of hands. All right. Sure. That's going to end our episode this week.
I can't get past the hands. In terms of hands, that's a lot. But like, not in terms of age.
Hey, you know, importance is all relative.
Well, like, if you're 50, that's 10 hands. Right?
10 hands?
Doing that math? Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so only one hand. That's not a lot.
I'm moving on. All right, you can catch us on the following social platforms. On Twitter, we're at 2Ps1C. That's 2PS1C. On Instagram at 2players1controller. You can email us at 2players with a Z, 1controller at Gmail. And we'll be on YouTube at 2players1controller. And feel free to send us some questions. Well, once we start getting some questions, we'd love to answer them. That would be really fun.
What questions would people ask us?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't.
Because I only have access to our children and our experiences. I don't have access to all the other people's experiences and children.
Yeah, so even beyond questions, if people want to share their experiences.
Sure.
If you have different experiences than ours and strongly disagree with us, please be kind.
Please be kind. But let us know. That would be fun.
Let us know, absolutely. But please be kind.
Please be kind. We're all trying out here. We're all trying to be parents.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the future.